Hi YouTube world, I am back with another video. Today I am going over what I purchased when I was in Europe, specifically Athens and Greece, and the luxury shopping I did. And you can see all of the, the haul I have right here. I'm pretty excited to show you. I'll talk about what I purchased, talk about pricing, I'll talk about how the VAT refund works, and of course, the duties. And then, of course, a couple of tips and tricks on doing some souvenir shopping when you're overseas. So let's get right into it. The first thing I want to talk about is the Louis Vuitton sunglasses. And I'm pretty pumped. I've been trying out a couple of these sunglasses here in the States, and I never made the trigger because the price difference was pretty drastic. So let me just go ahead and open it up and show you. It comes with a nice box, and then it comes with a black case. If you haven't seen my video of where I packed for my trip and how I pack for Europe and luxury shopping, and of course any tips and tricks on packing, I will go ahead and link that down below. But in that video, I did show you a different pair of Louis Vuittons that I bought a while back. That one was a blue case and it was pretty beat up because I've been using it for a while. This one came in a black case. And it comes with a nice little dust bag. And look at this. Ta-da! So I have a very low nose bridge, so it's really hard for me to find a pair of sunglasses that work because most of these designer sunglasses are Europeans and designed for European noses or Caucasian noses. So for me to find one that's wide enough for my face, and of course with my low nose bridge, this was took me a while. So I'm pretty pumped about getting a second pair of Louis Vuitton sunglasses. These are, I believe, called the match sunglasses. I'll link it down below. I went over to the women's section and didn't find anything I liked, so I actually found these in the men's section, but they look pretty unisex, so it doesn't really matter to me. But look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? I also got a pretty interesting look by the sales associate from Louis Vuitton where, and when I said plastic, she's like, no, this is not plastic. This is a high-end, I forget what the name is, but maybe acrylic, but it's definitely not plastic. So she gave me a whole education on it and I still can't remember. But yeah, pretty happy about this. Talking a little bit about pricing, I got these for 670 euros and I got a VAT refund of 81 euros, which came out to be 589 euros, which equates to right now's currency is about $609. I looked it up on the website here in the States. These retail on Louis Vuitton for $735 plus about 10% tax. So let's just say it's about $810 or so. That's a basically $200 savings, which is 25% off just by purchasing it there. So let me put this away and we'll move on to the next item. What should I do next? Let's go with Hermes because this is actually the first purchase I made. Okay, the first full day that I was in Greece, I beelined over to Hermes with my friends and we made a matching purchase. So unfortunately, they didn't have any bags because it was a pretty small boutique and the sales associate said that they only had seasonal items. And I was actually looking for this specifically, so I was pretty happy to walk away with this bracelet. But I was looking for a belt specifically, of course. If there's any bags, take my money, please. I was ready to drop dollars, but fortunately, I wasn't able to. So it comes with a nice dust bag. And here is the Click Clack. This is going to be the leopard edition and it came in white. So I got the larger size too, as I do have a thicker wrist, but isn't this gorgeous? I've been looking for one of these for a while and I couldn't find anything that that I liked. Originally, I was going to go for a solid color, but I thought this was gorgeous because it had the leopard print in there. And this is something that you don't see a lot very often, and it is a seasonal piece. So basically, you just pop it open like that. and you clip it on and pop it back on. So that is pretty much it. Isn't that gorgeous? So my friend actually got the same one, but she's pretty tiny, so she had to get the small size, and she got it in pink, but it's the same leopard print and whatnot, but it's in pink, which is also gorgeous. So for me, I don't think the pink, because it's a very light pink, I don't think it would have fit my skin tone. So having the white, there's a bit more contrast. So that's why I went for that. I'm going to keep this on. But basically, this one cost 625 euros, and I got a refund of 73 euros, which brings it down to 52 euros and equates to about $570 US. The US prices listed online that I saw was $710 plus tax, which brings it to about $780. That's $212 in savings. That's 30% that I saved just by purchasing it overseas. So pretty happy about that. I'm gonna keep that on. Let's do the watch. So this is an IWC watch. I won't talk too much about this just because I'm not as familiar as watches, but I thought this one was gorgeous, so I decided to make that purchase. Let's pop it out. Hopefully you can see that okay, but this is the Da Vinci watch. Kind of went in there, wasn't planning on buying a watch, but I saw the boutique. We also went into Tudor's or Rolex and was looking for a Rolex. My boyfriend was looking for a Rolex, and we showed up and saw the Tudor that he actually really wanted. So he was all excited. Went in there, the sales associate there just looked at him saying, "Nothing is for sale." Like, what does that even mean? What do you mean nothing is for sale? You have the watches on display there. Why wouldn't you sell it? He said, those are only for display. We get a shipment once a month, and whoever comes in, first come, first serve. And that is not that time of the month, which is absurd, right? So we ended up going right across the street to IWC. Sales associates were incredibly nice and said, what would you like? Here are the items. All right, what is your method of payment? And that was it. We walked away with an IWC watch. So it's just like, why? Why play this game, right? If you have the watch on hand, why wouldn't you sell it? So we didn't have that experience at IWC, obviously. And you can see we bought this Da Vinci watch. The funny thing about the refund, and I didn't talk about this for the other items here, but in Greece, Athens specifically, they do a 12% tax refund on their luxury goods, for example, or just anything in general where it's purses, bracelets, or, with Hermes or Dior or anything like that, it's going to be 12%. But there's a deal where it comes with, the jewelry as well as the watches, which they consider watches jewelry, where the VAT refund is actually 24%. So this was a hefty amount back here. So this is 5,700 listed in euros, and because of the 24% back in tax refunds, that's 1030, which equates to 4670 euros, and it becomes $4,831. US prices after taxes is 6118. So let's just say 6100 to round to a full number. That is a $1,287 savings. That's 21% that you're saving off of American prices just because of the currency exchange as well as the VAT refund. So pretty good deal here. And it came with a really nice leather case. So I'm just going to put that back in there. Not going to wear it right now. The other thing I wanted to show you are these items. So we went to Athens and we were looking for something like a department store just to check out what they have. And this place called Attica is kind of like a Nordstrom or a Neiman Marcus here in the States. And Attica was having a Black Friday sale, which I thought was pretty interesting. It was swarming with people. But a lot of their high-end luxury cosmetics like Dior, Joe Malone, I think it's what it's called. All of the Chanel, Hermes, just a perfume. There was also Bobbi Brown. A lot of the American brands were there as well. Or Lamur, they were all doing 30% off of their list price. I didn't have enough time to just kind of just rip through everything, but I went directly to Dior because I really liked their lipsticks, and they were doing 30% off with the 12%, the 30% off and the 12% refund. Because if you spend over $100 or €100 in Greece, you trigger that 12% refund. Other countries are different, so you just have to be aware of that. But in Greece specifically, it's going to be 12% starting at €100. So obviously I spent more than €100. And these I think came out to be about $25 or maybe $20 after the discounts and the, maybe it's $20. I can't remember, but it's something crazy, right? I have the receipt somewhere where it's going to be about $20-ish, which is a really good deal because Dior, at the most in the States, usually only go for 15% off, right? This is 30% off along with the 12% VAT refund. So that was a really good deal. I got 3 of them, so pretty happy with that. This is something else. I was looking for a diffuser for my place here in Nashville, and I was looking at Diptyque, but they unfortunately weren't doing any discounts. They weren't doing any sales, so I wandered over to Acqua di Parma, and they were selling these for 30% off. So the list pricing was $250 US, and then plus tax is $275. I did the math because they were doing the 50% off, or excuse me, 30% off, and then the VAT refund. This came out to be $100, and this is not the small size. This is the 17 ounce, so it's the jumbo size. I was actually looking for the smaller one, but they didn't have any in stock. This is their signature fragrance diffuser, and they had the jumbo size. So I'm like, all right, screw it, give me one of those. And they threw a bunch of samples in there as well. I was pretty happy about that. All right, last item of my show and tell. As you can see from the bag, this is a Fendi bag. This is my second Fendi bag. I do have another one, but it's a vintage. Love that bag. It's actually a pink Mama Forever. I think that's what they're called. Very handy, super light, toss a bunch of stuff in there. I got that for pretty cheap, so maybe I'll cover that a different day. But I was eyeballing the new baguette, which I know they had their 25-year anniversary this year. So they have a lot of different options. And this is the one I came across. So in Athens, they actually did not have a Fendi boutique. So they had a place called Louisa something, I forget, but Louisa World. They sold Bottega, they sold Celine, Saint Laurent, as well as Fendi. Might have a couple other brands there, but my friend walked away with the Saint Laurent wallet on chain at a super good deal. I think it came out to be like $1,000 after the refunds and whatnot, but I decided on the Fendi baguette. And before I forget, if you're liking this material, please like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram as I post lots of mod shots. And if there's any deals, I'll make sure I post it on there. Right now, I don't have any followers just yet, but hopefully you guys can check that out and I'll be able to post more on there as well. So anyways, the Fendi baguette in the houndstooth. This is such a gorgeous bag, right? I was originally wanting the brown version of it, but they didn't have it. So my friend said this is actually a very unique one. Usually I go for the gold hardware, but she said you probably have a lot of gold hardware, which, you know, probably true. So she convinced me and said this is a very unique bag that nobody else has, and there's not a lot of replicas out there, right? So it didn't take too much to convince me, but it comes with a nice short handle. The quality of this is just gorgeous. Let me just open it up and show you the strap. So again, the strap comes in this metallic or gunmetal, not metallic, the gunmetal option. And I just hook it on. Oh, I'm hooking it onto the wrong hook because there's actually 2 D-rings. Let me just make sure I'm hooking it onto the correct one. I like how there's 2 D-rings because then the 2 of them won't start, battling each other and start colliding with each other, right? So I do appreciate that attention to detail with the 2 D-rings. And then you can see inside. I'll do another video with this review specifically and kind of show you what's inside, but this is just a quick view of the new bag I got. Isn't that gorgeous? You can wear it on the nook of your arm. Here's a shoulder strap. I will tell you it's not long enough for me to wear crossbody, as I am a little bit taller. I'm 5'8" for reference, so that's why the longer strap doesn't work for me as a crossbody. Maybe in the summertime where I'm wearing less clothes, that might work, but I'm gonna have to give that a try. Let's talk about pricing. This purse was listed in euros for 2,600 euros. The tax refund of 12% is about 357 euros, which equates to, doing the conversion, comes out to 23.21 in US dollars. This bag is listed on Fendi's website for 3,100 plus tax, so it comes out to be about 34.17. This is a $1,096 savings, which is about 32%. Amazing, right? So very happy with this. I was a little bit hesitant before, but now knowing what I saved, I'm pretty pumped about it. So let's go ahead and put this right here and continue to admiring it. The other thing I will point out is that because I bought this at a boutique, not necessarily the Fendi official store, it did not come with a box. It's also good because I had limited room in the luggage, so I actually brought this onto the plane in my carry-on. Same with all of this stuff. I actually put it on the carry-on with me because that is not getting checked in. 2 different companies that most vendors use. One is going to be Global Blue. You can download the app, you punch in your passport information in there, and then they sometimes can scan it, and it's linked with your email. They can scan it and then it gets processed pretty quickly. So definitely go ahead and bring your passport with anyways. They would have to manually input it into the system, and that's how you get your tax refund. They'll give you paperwork, and the paperwork will tell you exactly how much you're getting back. But if you also have app immediately knows, and it gets uploaded to the Global Blue app, and you'll get a notification saying, alert, alert, you're going to have to get the custom stamps before you get your tax refund. You can either opt for cash or you can get a credit card refund. From what I understand, if you opt for cash, it's usually less. If you ask for a credit card refund directly onto your credit card, it's going to be a little bit more because the Global Blue do take a commission. The other company that they could use is starts with Planet. Again, I should have written this down, but it's a Planet something. It's called Planet something. It's the other version of Global Blue. Most people use Global Blue, but the Planet one I have encountered before. All of my purchases, it was with Global Blue except for the Fendi bag. That is with Planet. You get your paperwork. When you show up to the airport, go to the customs officer. Each country does it a little bit differently, so I'm just going to talk about Greece for now. And as I travel to other countries, I'll make sure to let you know what they do and what the procedure is usually. They're all kind of similar, but the experience might be a little bit different. So I showed up to the Greece airport or the Athens airport, went directly to the desk. It was pretty early. Nobody was there, no line, thank goodness. And I showed him all of my receipts, right? I showed him the receipts and he looked through everything. He didn't care about any of this stuff, right? The only thing he cared about was the IWC watch. He wanted to see that. The rest of the stuff he didn't even want to look at. When I was in Paris, they wanted to look at everything. So for the IWC, he made me open it and he wrote down the serial number and then he stamped it. So I took all of the paperwork, cross the customs, stuff it into the envelope, and then we went over to the drop box and just dropped everything in. So usually, in my experience, it takes about 4 to 5 weeks for you to get your refund. I'm constantly tracking it on my phone on the Global Blue app. There is no app for the Planet one, so I need to look at my paperwork and log online to see where the refund is at. Oh, pro tip, I would recommend that you take a moment, lay out all of your receipts. The ones with all of the stamps, take a picture of so that you have a record of it being stamped, and that if there's any issues, you have a record of it and you can maybe contest it. Never had any issues, but just a word of precaution. The other thing I will also mention is that definitely do yourself a favor and get yourself a credit card that does not have foreign transaction fees. My friend showed up, spent thousands of dollars, and she was using the Chase Freedom card. The Chase Freedom card does not offer free foreign transaction fee, so every swipe that she made was a 4% charge on top of that. If it's for little things like groceries or for like a coffee, not a big deal, right? But if you're going to be purchasing high dollar amount items, definitely use a no foreign transaction fee, because the 4% can definitely add up. Yes, you're still saving money, eats into your saving, basically. So I'll get into what happens when you come back into the States and what the duties procedure is, right? But last pro tip, when you are shopping for yourself, and of course you want to bring back souvenirs, I have stopped purchasing souvenirs like little tchotchkes and whatever that says Athens. Maybe a little, if it's small, lightweight, whatever, and I'm going to use it, like the little pouches I showed you before where it shows Athens and the evil eye on there. That was cool. That's probably the only tchotchke or souvenir that I bought for myself and my friends. But when it comes to souvenirs, I've stopped purchasing. It's just clutter in my house. I don't need to have clutter in my house of little knickknacks around the house, right? If you like it, please go for it. It is good memories, but in my opinion, I do not like to buy tchotchkes because it just starts collecting dust. And when there's little things, now if there's big items, like my friend stopped by and got a really big, really nice evil eye so that she can hang up on the door of her house, those are definitely must buys. But little things that magnets or little figurines of the Spartans or whatever, those are stuff I do not buy anymore. That's just my opinion. Take what you want. Definitely, if it makes you happy, please do so. This is what I buy instead. So this is the Attica shop, or kind of like their Nordstrom's. I'm just using this bag. But what I do instead, I go to the local grocery stores and I buy local snacks. And that's something I bring back as souvenirs for all my friends, right? To me, this is something I can share. Everybody can enjoy. They've never been to Greece, a little Spartan, figurine. It's not really going to mean much to them unless they're there experiencing it, right? And hearing the stories and going to the Parthenon and kind of seeing the story behind that, right? Or go to Sparty, which is where I went, and kind of know the history and whatnot. So they don't really care, right? So instead, what I do in each country is buy little snacks that are definitely made in Greece. I make it a point to buy something that is locally made and something that they've never tried before. So this one in particular was from Sparty. In Sparty or Sparta, they had orange trees everywhere. So I'm like, okay, I must get something orange. So in this case, this is like a little cookie with chocolate and there's an orange jelly in there. So I won't go through all of this, but just to show you a couple of things that I got from the local grocery store. One, it's cost effective, and two, it's very special to people that you purchase it for. So this is local Greek honey. I like how it's individually packed and you can squeeze it out. Doesn't that make more sense than having a Honey Bear bottle where it's plastic and then it's impossible to squeeze out every last bit of it? This just makes so much more sense. Here's some apricot jam, again, made in Greece. I got more orange jelly, so I wanted to try that. Local Greek honey. I found this at a diner, and apparently the owner's brother harvests their own honey. So we decided to support small business and try out. I mean, look at this. This is very interesting. This is honey and it looks pearlescent. So I thought that was interesting. And of course, more oranges. This is an orange chocolate bar. Haven't tried it yet, but it's Greek, so I'm going to try it out. That's just another pro tip of when I go grocery or when I go overseas and I want to bring some stuff back for my friends and family. I go to the local grocery store and just make some purchases. I'm going to go over is duties. What do you do when you come back to the stateside? How do you pay duties? I know there are a lot of videos out there kind of give you a general guidance. So I gathered all my luggage, waited for my check-in bag forever. By the way, never ever fly Turkish Airlines. I thought it was going to be great because everybody told me it was great. It was terrible. The plane looked like it was from the 90s. It was awful. I don't know what happened, but it was terrible. Our AC broke. My chair didn't recline. I was sweating my ass off. So the food was good, so I'll give them that. But everything else about it was terrible. Everybody has told me that Turkish Airlines was amazing, so I took their word for it. No, thank you. Never again. Maybe it will be a better experience in the future, but I'm just not going to risk it. So anyways, enough of that rant. So when you get to the stateside, gather your luggage, you go to pass the customs officer, and you technically have to self-declare, right? I don't know about other airports, but for this particular airport, you self-declare. So I basically told the officer saying, hey, made a couple purchases, like to declare it. And he's shot me over to a different desk where a bunch of customs officer were just sitting there and they asked for all my receipts. So I gave him all my receipts. I'm going to describe it as best as I can, but this is after 11 hours of a miserable flight. My head was not in the right space, but I tried to write everything down as soon as I left and paid my duties. But what the officer did was take all of my receipts and he did some Mickey Mouse math. I don't know what he was doing, but this is what he told me. First $800 is exempt. So there were two of us, $1,600 were exempt. The first 1,000 after that $1,600 per person is going to be a flat $30. And then everything else after that is going to be taxed at, I think, 2 or 3%. So let's just say maximum at 3% so that you can budget yourself of how much you need to pay when it comes to duties when you come back to the States. And then up to a certain increment, I think it was $10,000. Basically, it's a tiered system. It's going to be at 3%, then I think it was at 2% after that. So again, I don't think he taxed me for the full amount. He was shuffling around papers. He was trying to do the conversion of euros to US dollars, and then he was doing a math on a random piece of paper like 3 different times. So yes, that's what he told me. And I asked him, where can I find this on the US government website? He had some chicken scratch written down. And then I tried to type it in to the best of my ability, and whatever he wrote came to a random website. Well, not random, it was the US government website, and it was showing import taxes, not duties when you are traveling or you're being a tourist. It was talking about importing a ton of goods, like, you know, as a merchant or something, or as a business owner. So it's like, it doesn't make any sense. So I literally searched everywhere online just to try to find it. And he's like, yeah, it's posted online and you can definitely find it. No, you can't. You cannot find it. This is how much time I spent on this, and I'm very worked up about it. So that's exactly what he told me. And I think it's also at their discretion, right? So I ended up paying my duties, swiped my credit card, and went on my merry way. I think this video is long enough. I hope you enjoyed this video and sharing all of my goodies with you, and of course some tips and tricks and understanding how the VAT refund works, as well as how the duties work on the American side. Hopefully this was helpful. Like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. I want to cover topics that will help you adult a little bit easier. Life is definitely hard. I want to help you save time and money so that you can live your best life and less than retail. See you next time.